My name is Osahon, your instructor today, Osahon 11. I'll be taking you on a special lab. This is the lab 16 of this series, and we are looking at Transit Gateway. So in Transit Gateway, the overview is this. In this lab, we learned how to create a Transit Gateway for 2 or more VPCs. So for Transit Gateway, it is a transit hub which connect multiple VPCs, VPN, or direct connects. So we are going to look at the architectural structure, and with the architectural structure, we are going to create 2 instances on our AWS console. So first, we are going to look at the first public instance on a default, it's VPC, and another public on a customized VPC. So 2 instances, but on different VPC or network. So we are going to connect it together by the transit gateway. So there are 3 resources here: VPC, the same region, but different VPC in that region, and we'll connect it by transit gateway. So let's go to the lab console and first achieve creating the VPC. So what you need to do is simple. You come to EC2, come to your instance, and we're going to create our instance. So I'm going to give it a name. So this is for the first VPC. Select my AMI as Windows. I'll be using 220 base. The instance type I'll be using T2 micro. I'll have to select my key. I can use Linux or create a new, so I'll be creating a new. Let me put it there as Windows. You can give it a name of your choice. So at this point, we are going to specify our network. So the first will be created on the defaults. So I'll be taking the availability zone as the 2A. So the IP is enabled. So I'll have to create a new security group. So all I need to do, give it a name. I can give it as Windows. You can give it a name of your choice. So I'm going to select the parameters now. So we have to take a careful run through what we have selected. The AMI should be Windows, not Linux. So I'm going to click on confirm. So we selected again 2022 base. The instance type is T2 micro. The key we selected as Windows. The network we selected as default. In this case, we are creating 2. We selected the availability zone under the subnet. Now we are on creating our security group. So first, the type should be RODP. I'm going to create 2 more to make it public. So click on add. I'm going to add the HTTP anywhere. I'm going to add the HTTPS as well, the same way, anywhere. So we have created a security group that allows the flow of traffic So the size of the volume size or the root size is 30. I'll click on launch. So I have successfully launched one. I'm going to launch another. Okay, click on launch. I'll give it as Win2. Still select Windows. Both are Windows Server. The same process. I'm taking 2022 base. I'm selecting my key. Windows. Now I'm coming to the network. So I'm going to select now the defaults. Okay. And I'll select my public. Let me select it public to A. Now I'm going to select existing security group if there is any. So what I have here is just Linux. So I'm going to create another existing security group. So I'll create it as Windows. So I'm going to make it public by adding HTTP and HTTPS. At this point, everything has been well selected and click on launch. So I've successfully launched the two instance, which is the first point of call. So I'll click on instance and I'll see I have the two of them showing us running, but you can see it here. Initializing stage is still ongoing, so the heads check is showing initializing. So at this point, the next thing we are going to look at is creating the transit gateway. So at this point, we have achieved the status is showing us 2 of 2, 2 of 2. The next thing we are going to, I'm going to duplicate this tab. And at this point, I'm going to VPC resource, just VPC. Under VPC, I'm going to look at the transit gateway. Click on the transit gateway. I'm going to create a new transit gateway. I'll give it a name. Any name of your choice. Description. So this is all perfect. So I'll click on create. So I've created a transit gateway. It's showing as pending. Let me refresh. So the status is now available. So the next we are going to create an attached transit gateway attachment. We are going to create 2 for each of the subnets. Okay, so click on create. I'll give it a name, attachment 1. So I select the ID of the transit gateway we created. So 1D, just put it 1D so that we can easily identify. Come to the VPC. we are using the unique. So the unique is the customized, while the other is the default. So 1D, the default, we are going to select the default because we tag it as 1D. And at this point, I'll click on create. So this is the first attachment showing pending. While waiting, I'll create the second attachment, which is attachment 1C, which is customized. I'm going to select the transit gateway. ID is VPC. I'm going to select this as the customized, which is unique. I'll come here and click on create. So give it a little time to have both of them as status updated. So at this point, both of them is showing us available. The next thing, we have to connect them to the routing table. So I'll click on the routing table. So I'll work with first the default, which is this. Select the default. I'll come to our routes, click on edit routes. So on the default, I'm going to specify my destination as the customize. So this is the CID arrow, okay, that number for the customize. So I'm going to here and select directly transit gateway. So this should be for the transit gateway. I'll click on save. I'll do the same thing again for the unique. Go to routes. I'm going to click on edit. Now, if you take a look, the destination will be different. I'm adding 172.31.0.0/16. And this is for the second. So I will have to confirm going back to the instance, just to be sure that I have my CID arrow correct. So everything is perfectly fine. I'll click on save. At this point, I'm done with the whole lab. I'm just going to do a run on it to confirm a test to confirm what I've done is perfectly worked on. So all I need to do is to click on my EC2. I'm going to connect both instances together. I should be able to access the both instances using one virtual machine. So what I'll do is to click on my instance. I'll select the first one, which is the default. Click on connect. I'll click on RODP client. I'll have to download the remote desktop file. Click on it. Click on connect. Now it's demanding for a password. I'll go to get my password. I'm going to select the password which is I created, and that is Windows. I'll click on open. you can see the name of the password here. I'm going to decrypt it. So this is the password to log into the virtual machine. I'll click on OK. So click on yes. So now create is launching. So just give it 3 to 4 minutes. It should be all set up correctly. So we have successfully launched our virtual machine on the first, which is 2A. So to confirm if our transit gateway is functional, I'll be able to access the other subnets, the other instance in the second availability VPC. So I'll click on RDP. I'll click on remote desktop connection. Now what I will simply do is I'll click on show more. This time I'm going to take my public IP to log in to the second availability VPC. So I'll come back here to EC2. Click on this. Now I'll come to the second instance. I'll come to the private. Now I'm not logging with the public, I'm going with the private. Click on the private. Go back to my virtual machine, put it as the computer name, the user. I'm going back again as well to click on connect, and then I can specify my user name, which is admin. I'll click on connect. So it's asking for password. I'll go back again and get my password. So I'll have to generate my password the same way I did the first. I have to decrypt my password and then go back to the instance again, put in the password here and click on so it is logging in to the second VPC. So the idea is to be able to access both instance in two different VPC, okay, through one virtual machine. So with the help of the transit gateway, I could move from VPC 1 to VPC 2 in the same region. So this is what we try to achieve using the transit gateway, and the whole process is creating two instances in two different VPC, creating a new transit gateway, create an attachment, transit gateway attachment, okay, for individual VPC, and then do a routing connection. Once that is done, you have successfully structured your transit gateway. All you need to do is to launch your virtual machine and run a test. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you'll join me in the next session. We have more labs to come, and I'll be happy to be your instructor.